What's up, guys? It's Allison again with the Midwest Group St. Louis. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend, but we were able to get in to do another How Did We Rate It food edition. So we went to a restaurant that I have been looking forward to since they opened. Antonio wasn't a big fan, but I went because I needed to go and I wanted to try it. And the concept behind this restaurant is ramen noodles. So I think that's kind of a turnoff for some people because when you think ramen noodles, you think of the packet you get with the little cheap seasoning in it. And there's not much to it. But this isn't your boring ramen noodles. This is like classy, dished up, top of the line ramen noodles. So one of my favorite restaurants in the St. Louis area is Mei Lee. And the owner of Mei Lee actually opened up a smaller shop in Creve Coeur called Nudo House. N-U-D-O, Nudo House. And they serve classic ramen dishes and what's called pho, P-H-O. They also have things like, you know, your typical appetizers and some ice cream that's made in-house, things like that. So I finally went over there after my showcase the other day, and the first thing I'm going to tell you about is the service. Like, I have to go into service because I walked in the door and the guy was immediately talking to me, just making me feel super welcome. When I told him it was my first time in, he basically broke down everything for me, made sure I understood how the dishes were compiled, what specials they had going on, how the menu worked, and he made it really like personal. On top of that, he used my name. Once I paid with my debit card, he saw the name on there and actually called me by my name, telling me, you know, thanks for coming in. And when I left out, as I was leaving out later on after eating, there was another couple that was up there, I guess that was new as well. And he's like, Allison, how did you enjoy it? You know, she's a new customer as well. Did you, you know, he just made it really personal. He made it so I felt special, even though he sees probably hundreds of people daily. I felt special because he remembered my name, because he remembered what I said to him, that I was a new customer. That to me speaks volumes with your clients or with your employees. On top of that, the guys behind the counter that I didn't even engage with were talking to me as I was leaving out, saying thanks for coming. I had a guy come over and clean my table for me, even though I wasn't even done yet. Like, I mean, I was done, but I wasn't leaving out yet. I was going to take it and put it away. He came over before I could even get up and made sure that he got everything taken care of so I didn't have to deal with it. So the environment and the employees there made this experience fantastic. Now for the food, I went simple. I went really classic because I wanted to start small and eventually I'll go back and try something different. So I ordered their classic ramen. That's what it's called on the menu. Classic ramen. Now it ain't just ramen noodles and some soup and some seasoning. Don't fall for that. This was a very rich broth with the ramen style noodles, and then in that as well was some mushrooms, some scallions, an egg, a soft boiled egg, 2 large pieces of pork, some seaweed, and then a ton of seasoning. Like, I don't even know what kind of seasoning they used, but it was just phenomenal. It was so good. And then on top of that, over on their side next to their drink station, they have a bunch of different sauces up there. So I mixed a little bit of soy and hoisin sauce together. So I got a little bit of a kind of a tangier flavored sauce. And I would pour parts of that onto my meat when I pick it up, the noodles itself. And it just really enhanced that flavor. It was so good. The seasoning for all of the dish was phenomenal. And even though there wasn't a lot to it, it was a very simple dish. It was very filling. Getting text messages. But it was a very filling dish. I didn't even finish drinking all of the liquid inside of it because I was so full off of everything else. Just, you kept wanting to eat it because it was that good. And the portion size though was fantastic. It wasn't a huge amount of food. It was just the right amount. Two good sizes of pork, things like that. So I definitely enjoyed what I got. And I cannot wait to go back and try maybe one of their beef dishes. I know their specials are extremely popular. You know, you could hear people talking about what was up on the board. But I'm excited for what Nudo House is offering and what they're going to continue to offer. I can tell you right now that I will be going back to try some more, and I'm gonna convince Antonio to go try it, even though he's still skeptical. So guys, overall, I give Nudo House a 5 out of 5. I know that Antonio probably would have issues with it just because it's a ramen place and he's not sold on that idea yet. But let me tell you, it is a 5 out of 5. It is amazing going in there to the experience, the service, the menu options. It's a very simple menu. There's not a whole lot of options, but there's a wide variety of flavors, and there's additions that you can add into each dish that you want. So I will definitely be going back to Nudo House, and I'll probably go check out Mei Lee soon too as well. But I will check in a little bit later on, guys, with you for another episode. See you around.